Life in a big city involves breathing a lot of toxic substances. In attempting to mitigate this harm, I try to assure a sufficient supply of zinc within me. So, how can I tell when I'm low on zinc? For me, there are but two symptoms indicative of a zinc shortage. One is being sensitive to tobacco smoke. This is real odd. I use tobacco myself, yet at times I get an allergic response to having a smoke. Zoot allures.
Hey you, keep listening. Do not get sidetracked by thinking up some advice to give Digger later on, or with some other lost cause of yours. You ignore this at your own peril.
Okay, so when this happens, I then rush to my laboratory and ingest ascorbic acid and zinc citrate in sufficient amounts to restore my tolerance to these types of toxins. Once again, I can go about safely breathing the toxic air of the city. To one whose level of science is high, there is an antidote for everything. The second warning I rely upon is white spots on the fingernails. Over my life, I have seen white spots appear on my own nails then go away. Finally, after decades of self-experimentation, I am convinced that this signifies lack of zinc. My zinc requirements will vary from time to time, so determining minimum requirements is not possible. Also, and this bit is important, thinking that a proper diet will supply sufficient zinc is completely wrong unless one lives in a steady state, which is not possible. So forget all that crap. Or suffer and die. It is one's lifestyle that sets the amounts of this element one requires. I was in my 20s when I saw the connection between out-of-control cancers in the prostate gland. After a half-century of gathering data, I am able to make the seemingly oversimplified, stupid-sounding statement: the cause of out-of-control prostate cancer is lack of zinc. Again, lifestyle is by far the most significant feature, namely sexual excess. Since out-of-control cancers are of great concern for both sexes, and not to exclude the counterpart, the female out-of-control breast cancers are, with few exceptions, due to an affinity between the element calcium and the element strontium. Radioactive isotope 90 particles staying in the breast is by far and away the primary cause of out-of-control breast cancers these days. Although the atomic industries would have us all looking to the burning of leaves. Oh, my aching head, what a helpless sort these humans are, just pathetic, but still ya gotta love 'em. In the most simple way of putting it, zinc is a surface catalyst. No human cells can be produced if it is absent. A human male is designed to take this into account. We do not rely upon the female to have sufficient zinc to allow life to begin within her. To assure replication, our sperms carry the zinc required, and in astounding amounts. Normal human sperm is 4% by weight zinc.
Since few, if any, males are blessed with a sex life that would result in a lethal draining of zinc, it is most likely that masturbation brings on this hideous form of death.
Zinc and cadmium are, in human nutrition, paired elements, so there is a vital synergy here. The ideal ratio is found in oysters. Cadmium is let loose a lot these days, so zinc supplementation is advised for everyone. I prefer zinc citrate. Having too much cadmium and having too little zinc can be thought of as the same thing. In the 60s, due to peer pressure, I became a vegetarian. My reasons were philosophical at first, and upon noticing an overall change for the better, I kept it up for 8.5 years. I was very strict about it too. My mate also took to the same meatless diet, and we had us a perfect breastfed/vegetarian sourced baby. I made certain that I was in complete control of what our child ingested. When our child was 1 year old, I allowed it to eat a chicken's egg to an oyster, just to make certain types of enzyme production kick in. By the way, in order to have complete control of what my mate consumed while she was pregnant and nursing, I was a stay-at-home dad, and naturally, she was a stay-at-home mom. I have gone back to being omnivorous in accordance with my design. Speaking of things lethal, here is a lethal thought: all men are created equal. For your information, equality only exists in the realm of mathematics. As to how the many other hippies I knew that stayed vegetarian, and those who went on to being vegan/raw food vegans have made out during these 5 decades goes evidently to be vegan, or raw food vegan, without using supplemental zinc is to be zinc deficient. I followed vicariously a vegan community in England for half a century. Every now and then their children were taken by the government to institutions where they were fed, I'll use the word properly here, until they regained their health, and then they were returned to their parents. This is no longer happening, as the vegan raw food vegans are now hip to using zinc supplements, and can take care of their own from now on. Ain't science wonderful?